Hi everyone, I'm Joyce and I'm a senior designer for ABC Content Ideas Lab. Today I'll present my design process for a graphical application of an in-car entertainment app. And my presentation will follow the following structure. So start with contextual research and user persona, and then followed by the ideation stage to conceptualize a design concept. And with the first rough wireframes and prototypes, it will then be analyzed based on the user task flow and user journey. And afterwards, the first iteration will be evaluated with usability testing. And the same process will then be applied to the second iteration. So firstly, starting with the research, from here, we can see that the primary goal of ABC is to create innovative content by collaborating with various media platforms. And the most popular channels include Triple J and ABC News. And its target user is the 30% of Australians who do not consume ABC content on a weekly basis. And the research on the target demographic suggests that the most popular user group is between the age of 24 to 34, with mainly females of 60% at 61%. So then we start the exploration with our user persona. Our first user, who is a 45-year-old financial analyst. He has a user habit of listening to podcasts every day when driving to work every morning. And given his tight schedule, he often just consumes bite-sized content on the go. And he is especially frustrated by the lack of flexibility in the current in-car radio system, especially with the overwhelming amount of content. So therefore, his core needs center around bite-sized content, personalization, as well as flexibility. Moving on to our second persona, who is a freelance designer. As a creative professional, he prefers to explore new ideas on various media platforms. So therefore, he needs fresh and innovative content on a regular basis. However, with the current podcast system, he is especially frustrated with the outdated user interface and the system. Especially, it does not allow him to share and collect the content that he likes. So therefore, from here, we can tell that he needs an innovative system that offers regular updates and shareable features, as well as content collection. Then in order to have a more in-depth understanding of the context of use and the user's motivation and attitudes towards in-car radio listening, we have conducted the user interviews. So our first user is not a frequent user of in-car radio listening. So from here, we can tell that he normally uses the podcast service of Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And the reason why he does not listen to the in-car radio is because he finds that it does not sound interesting compared to his personal playlist. And he also rates a medium likelihood to use an in-car radio system. However, in contrast, our second user is a frequent listener of in-car podcasts, as he listened to the podcast when he was driving on a daily basis. And he mainly listened to ABC News as well as other content on the other platforms. And the reason why he uses that is because it keeps him alert on a long distance drive. However, right now he has a low satisfaction with the current podcast system. So based on the above information, we have created a mind map to help us brainstorming the potential ideas. And this mind map also gives us a holistic understanding of the characteristics of the users as well as the context of the application. So based on these information, we have then conducted a mashup exercise to generate new ideas. This eventually helped us to come up with our design concept. So what we decide is to create an in-car radio listening application that utilizes AI-driven technology to offer customizable and personalized content on the go. And the design concept, this application especially focuses on the target audience of female users between the age of 24 and 34. And the design concept centers around the core features of recommendation, personalization, and integration. So from our wireframes and prototype, we can see that the recommendation system works is the user has to first fill out his person preference in his user profile, and then automatic recommendation list will be generated based on the data analytics. And furthermore, the user could also use AI voice assistant to command his needs, and our voice assistant will give personalized content in response. And in terms of personalization and integration, so as we have mentioned previously in our research, we have discovered that the user have a diverse interest in a wide range of content types. So therefore, what we do with our application is that it is an integrated system of different podcast channels. So it offers an integrated content recommendation and collection system. And it also satisfies the user needs of accessing the personalized content according to the preference they have previously filled out. So, and then we conduct the experience of the application based on the user task flow. So the first task is to listen to personalized content, and this task can be performed either in touch mode or hands-free mode. So from our user journey, we can see that although our user is satisfied with the previous steps of setting up profiles and selecting the user mode, he is confused about the system status when trying to connect the Bluetooth to the in-car radio. So this shows the problem of the lack of a visible system status. And then moving on to our second task of exploring and adding the podcast to the collection. So from our user journey, we can see that although our user is happy about the clear instructions and the well-curated recommendations, he's also confused about the overall navigation experience, and especially when he needs help, he does not know where to find help. And then we also conducted self-directed analysis of the features of the application based on Nelson's heuristics. So from here, we can tell that our application has offered a good recognition with the customizable, recognizable buttons and icons. And it also gives the user control and freedom with the access to additional features. And we also offers a flexible and efficient system with our feature of AI voice assistant. And we have also implemented a relatively aesthetic and minimalistic design to reduce the visual affordances the user might experience. Furthermore, some visibility of system status has also been put in place with the highlighted buttons once the action is being triggered. Then we have also conducted user study in both either touch mode and hands-free mode to understand their overall experience and the ease of use, as well as their satisfaction with the application. So this gives us both quantitative and qualitative data for further analysis. So based on user testing, we have concluded with a usability test summary. So from here, we can see that there is a high usability of 93.5% of ease of use. And the most valuable features are personalized recommendation, AI voice assistant, and collection list. So although all of our users have successfully completed the task, they have also experience a few numbers of errors as well as the affordances in their experience. So this suggests that there are still areas needed to be improved with our current system. So therefore, we conducted an evaluation of our problems in the current system, especially with the lack of clear detailed system status, no error prevention features, as well as the lack of a user manual. So this all causes the delays in the system. So therefore, we have implemented the improvements to solve these problems in our second iteration. So here in our second iteration, we have offered the user greater flexibility with the switch between day mode and night mode. And we have also added the error prevention as well as daily reminder features. And then we also conducted an A/B testing to see the user preference between two different types of design of the user interface. And it turns out that 76% of users preferred a more detailed interface. So this becomes our final visual design that has been implemented. So overall, we conducted a final evaluation of our system with the heuristics. So here we can see that all of the proposed areas have been improved, which have generated positive impact on the users with greater user satisfaction and greater user control and freedom. And all of these evaluation and the iterative process also help us to reduce the errors and affordances within the system. So this is our final mock-up of our application. So overall, by reflecting on the design process, we have implemented an iterative process to constantly improve the system based on the user feedback and user testing. And this eventually helped us to come up with a more refined product and application at the end. And I hope you enjoy our presentation. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.